Hello, welcome to Newscast. Today, let's discuss a very serious, important issue that is the Manipur ethnical conflict. The violence started over a year ago and it is still continued till date. Recently, there have been many articles, newspaper articles regarding this, and even the Union Home Minister organized a high level security brief on this Manipur violence. So let's try to understand what is this Manipur violence or Manipur ethnical conflict. So to understand this, we need to understand the Manipur geography. So if we see it clearly here, the Manipur is surrounded by three states, that is Mizoram, Assam and Nagaland on three sides, and it shares a country's border or country's border with Myanmar. And please remember, it is a porous border. So next we need to understand the population distribution throughout the state and also the community distribution throughout the state. So if it may be easy to understand if I say it like this, the state is like a football stadium with the Imphal Valley representing the play field at the center, and surrounding hills are the galleries. The valley, which comprises of 10% of Manipur's total landmass, is dominated by Methi community, that is a non-tribal community, and it accounts for the 64% of the total population and yield 40 of the total 60 of the MLAs from Manipur. So the hills, surrounding hills comprise of 90% of the geographical area and are inhabited by more than 35% recognized tribes, but they sent only 20 MLAs to the assembly, while a majority of Mehndis are Hindus, followed by Muslims, and the 33 recognized tribes are broadly classified into Kukis, Nagas, and other are largely Christians. So, this is the base. So, uh, the starting point of this violence goes back to British period, where the Imphal Valley region was a kingdom and it was ruled by a king, and this kingdom was attacked by the Naga tribes from the neighboring hilly areas. So, to protect the kingdom from the Naga tribes, the king gave lands to the Kuki tribe to protect them, uh, to protect them from the Naga tribes. So he gave lands in the surrounding hills. So this is the base conflict started between the Kuki tribe and the Naga tribe. And so that recent conflict, why it started? So because the High Court directed the state to pursue a 10-year-old recommendation to grant scheduled tribe status to the non-tribal Methi community. So the Meithis actually were recognized as a tribe before the merger of a state with the Union of India. So in order to the state status was needed to preserve the community and save the ancestral land, tradition, and culture and language of the Meithis. But after becoming 19th state of India in the Manipur, the Meithis were removed from the special tribe status. So still from then they have been trying to gain the special tribe status. So the High Court directed the state to pursue this 10-year-old recommendation and grant them special tribe status. So what are the arguments they gave for them to get the special tribe status are, so the Methi community needed safeguard against outsiders, stating that the community has been kept away from hills while the tribal people can buy land in the shrinking Imphal Valley. So, as the outside Imphal Valley is considered as a special tribe status, they were giving special status, the center people, the Methi community, were not allowed to buy, the non tribal Methi community was not allowed to buy land in the neighboring hilly areas, while the people in the neighboring hilly areas or the tribes can buy the land in the infall area. So, the actual land which belonged to the Methi community has been shrinking from that from year to year, and even their population is decreasing year by year. So they wanted a special tribe status to protect their ethnical culture and language. And during the 2000 to 2012 period, the demand for an inner line permit in Manipur to bar outsiders has started. And the other problem is, in Manipur, the government is the largest employer, and the reservation of for STs in the jobs amount for an unfair advantage to the Methi community. And infrastructure development has made their insecurities even worse because of their loss of land. So, why are the tribal groups again the ST status for Metis? The Metis have a demographic and political advantage and are also more academically advanced. So, the ST status to the Metis would lead to the loss of job opportunities and allow them to acquire the land in the hills and push the tribals out. Even the language of Metis people is included in the 8th schedule of the constitution, and many of them have access to benefits associated with the SC, OBC, or EWS status. So the Kukis and Nagas pointed that the tribal areas are 90% of the state geographical area, but the bulk of its budget goes into the development work and is focused in the Mechi dominated Imphal Valley. So, this is the base where the tension started between the two communities. So, what was the reason for the recent unrest is, while the forest eviction and demand for a status for Metis have been the most prominent recent triggers, the divide between the Metis and tribals on several issues have very widened over the past decade. So, recently there has been intrusion of migrants from the neighbor area. Due to the coup in Myanmar, a large group of refugee crisis came into India's northeast. Metis leaders have alleged that there have been sudden mushrooming of villages in the nearby districts, and some tribal groups with vested interests are trying to scuttle government crusade against drugs. So there was an anti-drug drive started and destroyed the poppy fields. So they said that these are the illegal settlers related to the Kuki-Zomi community of Manipur. So they were growing drugs and they were ordered to clear the lands and are evicted from the hilly areas. So the first violent protest erupted over the eviction of the residents of a Kuki village. So 38 villages in this protected area were deemed as illegal settlements, but the Kuki groups claim that the eviction is a violation of Article 371C, as Kukis are residents of a hilly area, and at the state level there is a Hill Area Committee constituted under the Manipur Legislative Assembly Order 1972. The Hill Areas Committee comprises of all the MLAs elected from the hilly areas of the state and its members. So the state government withdrew from the suspension of operational agreements with the two extremist groups and accused them of inciting the protests. So this is where the violence increased day by day, and it's still continuing to till date. So what is the way forward for us? So, first of all, we need to evaluate the criteria for the special status with in line with the recommendations by given by several committees like the Lukur committee. He recommended the five criteria for identification, namely primitive rights, distinct culture, geographical isolation, shyness of contact with the community at large, and backwardness. And there is also the Buharia Commission from 2002 to 2004, and also a high level committee in 2013 under the chairmanship of Virginia Zagza. So he also gave five critical issues relating to tribal communities like livelihood and employment, education, health, displacement, and migration. There is also like legal and constitutional matters. Based upon these guidelines given by the committee, it is directing the state to uh, to actually it is directing the state to evaluate if the Metis community to really come under the ST status. And next, bring more surveillance along the border areas to prevent the incursion of the migrants from Myanmar. And there is also, we need to identify them and maintain the identity of the people along the border areas so that they feel secure of their land and their identity. So maybe these things can curb the violence a little bit, but it also depends upon the state how they take the steps way forward. Thank you. Have a happy day.